It's been a while since I did a video and I showed you guys the collection of motorcycles, and so now I branched out into some cars. I think I've got the best of the 90s, so I'll show you the first one, and then in the next video I'll show you the next one. All right, so this is a 1994 Acura Integra GSR. I had 3 Integras in the past. 2 of them were GSRs, a 1994 and a 1995. I subsequently had a 1995 Acura Integra B20Z. That's the engine out of a Honda CR-V. So this will make my 4th Integra. I had a brief bit of nostalgia, so I hunted one of these down and picked it up. So this one came out of the Ohio area and has 300,000 miles on it. It's been a Texas car most of its life, very little rust. You can see kind of in this area where there's some rust right here in the edge of the quarter panel. And then there's also some on the passenger side, and I'll get to that in a second. So one of the things I was happy to see is that the trunk is very clean. There's no rust in there. It's in very nice condition overall. It's got some sun fading, which should be pretty well expected for a Texas car. And of course the clear coat is quite beat up. And this color we used to joke about back in the day as being Milano pink rather than the original name Milano red. So here's a view of the interior. Some decent condition overall. Here's a little bit of aftermarket modifications, like that switch on the kick panel and the boost gauge where the cruise control on-off switch is supposed to be. There's a bit of peeling of the vinyl there. That's actually a pretty common issue with these. And even like on the door panels, you can see the black is peeled off. And this is a really big thing. You get this rubber getting hard and actually start to pull away from the quarter panel. I would love to find a new set of these, but they're nearly impossible to find. Moving on to the front. Oh, and they put these nice raised wheels on there. I am going to replace those with the stock wheels, which I've already acquired. So moving on to the engine bay. I actually did have to buy this unit. It's a cruise control unit. It has the Hasport motor mount there. It's actually missing the front mount where the air conditioning would attach. It actually would bolt to the frame there. It's also missing the transmission mount, which is supposed to go in this region here and then bolt there. Pretty annoying. They also put the ubiquitous half radiator to fit this big turbo they had here. It's missing the power steering, the air conditioning, and all of the cruise control components. It was actually, in fact, even missing the battery tray, and the battery was sitting on the brake lines. So I was able to acquire a battery tray for it, so it's sitting nicely now. So headlights are pretty standard. They get cloudy, they get eroded by the UV rays. So I'm looking for a set of those. I actually do have one, a driver's side. I'm looking for a passenger side in nice condition. And as I mentioned before, it's got some corrosion here. But I really think overall for 1994, it's in quite good condition. I'm very pleased with it. It's got the Type R replica wing. And then it actually has also the Type R lower front lip replica, of course. So my plans are to pull this engine out, refresh it, replace whatever it needs, and I plan to bring this car back to 100% stock. My plan is to not have a single part on it that is aftermarket. So we'll see. It really is going to depend on the availability of the original equipment parts for whatever items I'm missing. So, and then I'll move on to, I've actually picked up a parts car, which was quite helpful. Gentleman in the local region actually gave this to me for free. So it was probably about a 2-hour drive from me. And missing the missing the front seats, but you can actually see in here that I've gotten quite a few parts lately. These are all my spare parts that I think I'll be using in the new car, or in the better car. So those are a set of 98 plus GSR door cards in very nice condition. I may have to use these because I can't find the ones with the cloth from the 94 to 97 GSR. Overall, quite a few parts I'll be sourcing out of here. I actually, even from the engine bay, I'm going to be cannibalizing some parts. So I already took the battery tray from this, and they actually have an extra tranny mount down in there. You can actually see what's the actual air conditioning mount, motor mount down there. Just a bunch of random parts. And then of course I've been using this part storage area for the other car. Additionally, I started sourcing all the parts that I need for the restoration, return to original equipment. This is all of most of the air conditioning stuff, the evaporator, the hoses, and the receiver dryer. Here I got the actual radiator fan assembly. And over here, I've actually got two mufflers because I wasn't able to find out for sure if the GSR muffler was different from the LS muffler. So this is my indeterminate muffler, and this is the one I got from H Motors online that they said was a GSR muffler. So, and then actually underneath there, wrapped in saran wrap, is the intermediate pipe. Interesting thing about the intermediate pipe is, I don't know what's going on with the end of it here. It's got, I think what's left of the gasket kind of mashed in there. So I've got to figure out how to chip that out so that it'll work with the exhaust. And of course, the stud's broken off in the threaded section, the threaded nut. So this is kind of my mishmash of parts. Got a nice valve cover that hasn't been cut on the end. This was another H Motors online purchase. So this is the original airbox intake tube. These are kind of tough to find because when guys put the short rams on there, they typically throw these in the trash. So a lot of parts that I have, I just picked up just to have spares. So here's a spare set of injectors and a spare fuel pressure regulator, some brackets for mounting the airbox to the frame. Got some extra shafts, an intermediate shaft, exhaust manifold. I got an extra Dizzy and a IACV. Over here is a set of Rock Auto pre-painted calipers and brackets that I got on Facebook. So, and then over here is the power steering system, all the brackets and the reservoir, pump, that sort of thing. So essentially, I believe I have most everything I need to do a factory OEM restoration. But unfortunately, at this point, I pick up another vehicle that's going to take precedence over this. So I just wanted to give you guys an overview of what's coming. And then I will continue this series after I get some progress on the other vehicle. So that'll be the next video. So the other thing is actually that's great about this vehicle is that it runs. It actually doesn't run badly. It's got really solid motor mounts, so it's very, very much a vibration champion, but it does start and run. So I did actually drive it up onto the trailer, and yeah, aside from all the oil that it leaks out, it seems to run well enough. So that's a lot of encouragement about this one. I hope that it doesn't need much in the way of engine rebuild, but hey, it's always great to start with a running vehicle, right?